5-6 people told me on messages and calls that my performance reminded them of Amrish Puri sir. And
Wow.
I don't know if
that was quite the okay.
I don't know if I deserve that kind of a compliment or not, because that is the highest level of compliment anyone portraying a villain can get. And I clearly remember I saw him walking in, and I was like really excited inside, because the fanboy inside me really wanted to just go hug him, tell him how much I admire his work, and what a big honor it is for me to be playing a villain opposite him. He greeted me very warmly, in a very friendly way, and better than that was how she greeted my parents. Hello people, this is Rishabh Sawhney and you're watching me on Zoom.
Well, on Zoom today with me, I have a very special guest. Well, let me welcome Rishabh with me. Rishabh, I would say that, people who have watched Fighter, they will not only remember the movie just by Hrithik Roshan, Deepika Padukone or the other lead actors there, but also with because, you played the villain ka role. और वो कुछ ऐसा वैसा villain नहीं था. I would say you have left a mark. So let's first start with the fact of how has the post-release of the movie been for you?
Firstly, thank you. And yeah, post-release has been amazing. When I shot the film, I thought because it's a negative character, I would be getting some hate, if not a lot.
Yeah.
But the gods have been kind, and people are really appreciating my performance, and it's only been appreciation. And not only from India, I've gotten messages from countries like Kazakhstan, like the Caribbean islands and Houston, and Canada, London, all over the world. People are praising the performance. They're sending such sweet messages. Even the reviews that I've checked out, they're praising my performance. So I'm very glad about that, very happy about that.
When you actually choose a movie like Fighter, and when you have actors like Anil Kapoor, Hrithik Roshan, and such lead faces out there, हमेशा ये रहता है कि यार स्क्रीन स्पेस मुझे कितना मिलेगा, बिकॉज इट्स नॉट अ मैंडेट कि आप विलेन हैं तो you'll get a proper screen space. But because I've seen the movie, I would say कि बहुत ही अच्छे तरीके से from the start to the end, your character has been there, the presence has been there, and be it the fight sequence, be it the way you have shown your presence. But while you were actually choosing the project, did you also have those kind of things in the head कि यार मैं ले तो रहा हूँ, how will it come out, or maybe कितना मेरा role होगा, या maybe will I, because these are the lead actors out there, तो आपका वो कभी था ऐसा reservations mind में?
नहीं,
you never had that.
I didn't, because I've been auditioning for 6 years, and to be considered for a film like Fighter this, by a director like Siddharth, Anand, to play the negative lead opposite Hrithik Roshan, I don't think I could have said no. I did not even think the screen time will be less or anything. I was just, happy about the fact that I'm getting to play a negative character opposite these people, because kitna bhi kam screen time ho, I was going to get noticed, and I was going to get a chance to perform.
Yeah.
And luckily, whatever was there on the script and what came out in the film, it was more the stuff that came out in the film was more than what was on the script.
Yeah.
So I was very happy. It all worked out in the end.
But then how was it meeting, all of these people, Anil Kapoor, Hrithik? How was it meeting the cast? What was the first memory that you have of them?
So I met everyone at a different time.
Yeah.
So I met Hrithik sir when I started shooting with him.
Yeah.
And I clearly remember I saw him walking in, and I was really excited inside, because the fanboy inside me really wanted to just go hug him, tell him how much I admire his work, and what a big honor it is for me to be playing a villain opposite him. But say at the same time, I was doing a very intense character.
Yes.
And I couldn't get out of the zone or the feelings of that character, because then it wouldn't have translated so well on screen. So I just held back. I told myself ki bro, you will get a chance to tell him whatever you want to tell him later. Right now you're Azhar, he's Patty.
Yeah.
Just focus on that.
Yeah.
And I maintained my cool during the shoot, so that I'm sure he also did not want to be disturbed, because his character was very intense as well. Anil sir I met on set. We were not shooting together, but we were shooting on the same day. So after my shot got done, I went, greeted him. He was very sweet. He is a very sweet guy. He will he spoke to me, he gave me work advice, career advice.
Did he actually see the role that you played? Did he give you a feedback after he saw your character?
So you remember that scene in the film where I'm beating up Sukhi?
Yes.
That was an improvised scene. That was not in the script before.
Oh.
So Siddharth sir added that scene later. And when I was shooting that scene, Anil sir was there on set.
Yes.
And he was watching the scene. So I believe he told someone on set that that was a very good, very strong performance.
Wow, okay.
And once we met on the premiere, I met him, I greeted him, and he told me, bro, you've done a very good job. तूने फोड़ दिया. You've done an amazing job. So that was like, I mean, getting praised by an
Anil
industry
Kapoor,
veteran.
yes.
Yeah, I mean, he's such a fine actor, and if he's saying that, that means a lot.
What about Deepika Padukone? How was it meeting her?
So I met her for the first time on the premiere of the film because we did not have any scenes.
But then,
together.
did you get a chance to meet her on the sets? Like,
We weren't even shooting on the same days.
Damn.
Not even once.
Okay.
Yeah, damn. I also wanted to meet her during the shoot, but hopefully in some future project.
But then, what was her
But
feedback
she was
for
very
you?
sweet. She was very sweet because I think she had also seen that I was doing the villain in the film, and when we met each other at the premiere, both of us were like, finally, we got to meet each other, and she greeted me very warmly, in a very friendly way, and better than that was how she greeted my parents.
Oh, wow.
She was very sweet to them. So what happened was she was getting papped and she walked out of the stage, and I was standing waiting to go on, and she saw me and we both saw each other and we shook hands, and then she had met my parents before. So she asked me, where are your parents? I met them the other day, and my mom was standing on the other side of the podium, so I told her she's there. And she turned around, she hugged her, and she met her so nicely, so warmly, like mad respect for her.
Okay, so you know what? I'll tell you one thing very nicely and in a very simple way out there. Whenever they try showing a hero and a villain, and a hero like on a level of Hrithik Roshan, for example, they would not want somebody to actually surpass his persona on screen. Or maybe, you know, they'll try and show the villain a little less. Like, I'm not saying normally it happens, but it does happen. Like, for example, Pathaan mein when you had John Abraham, and वो ऐसा उनका ना वो कैमराडी था, they were fighting, but you know you couldn't see that, oh, ये villain and वो hero के बीच की लड़ाई है. But your and Hrithik का लड़ाई in the last part of it, it actually was like, you know, कि oh, this villain is giving a tough competition to the hero. You know, अगर वो दो मार रहा है तो your character was actually hitting back like twice equally on the same word, and they were trying to kill the character, but you know he was intense वहाँ पे पूरा था. What preparation went behind it, and you know, how did you get into that zone? Because obviously you might have had your kuch prep talk or maybe some preparation before you were giving those intense scenes. Was there any preparation behind all of that?
Behind the normal character or only the fight sequence?
The entire thing, like, because you know when you went there, you were planning about okay, अब मुझे blast करना है, अब मुझे ये करना है. That character itself was very intense for that matter. So how did you maintain the whole zone in the entire film? And when it came to the fight sequence, was there any special prep that you did before you were going there for that huge fight sequence?
So for the character of Azhar, there were two things, the mentality and the physicality, right?
Yes.
So for the physical aspect of it, that was kind of the easier part for me.
Oh.
Because I have always been a fitness enthusiast. I used to compete in bodybuilding competitions before.
Okay.
So I know how to, you know, tweak and play around with the body.
Okay.
But this was something which I did not want to risk only on my knowledge. So I hired a personal trainer, I hired nutritionists to guide me through the whole journey, and I think I was eating around 7-8 meals a day.
Oh.
Heavy meals. It was like, and all of them were measured. Like if I'm having 200 grams of carbs or 200 grams of rice, then it has to be 200 grams of rice, then 200 grams of chicken, and similarly 5-6 more meals like this.
Okay.
Every day. So for 6-7 months I did that, and
Quite
that really helped me.
dedication, I would say.
Yeah, thank you. But it was necessary.
Yes.
I did not want to risk. I did not want to leave any stone unturned because
Yeah.
you know my first film, and I don't know how many opportunities like this I
You
was going
wanted
to get.
to leave a mark out there with this character itself.
Of course, with
and you
whatever
did.
I'm doing. That's
Yeah.
my mentality in normal life also.
Okay.
So to get into the mentality of this character, I hired an acting coach.
Okay.
I worked with him. He designed a plan for me where like 2.5, 3 months before the shoot started, we did this exercise for like 4-5 days at a stretch where I would not speak to anyone.
Okay.
No words would come out of my mouth, and then 5 days later when I would go and shoot, then the voice that was coming out was the heavy voice that you know.
So you
saw
did
in the
not
film.
talk to your the people around there in your
No one.
personal life also?
No one, not
Okay.
my parents, nor my friends, not anyone.
Okay.
Also, while I was keeping shut, or rather, even when I was speaking, for the last 2-3 months, I was only watching documentaries. War documentaries on terrorists, documentaries on the stuff going on in Syria, Palestine, Gaza, all these, you know. And I had to write down all of my thoughts at the end of the day.
Okay.
So what happened was, after a month and a half of doing this, I could see that my thoughts were becoming so aggressive and so negative because what those videos and keeping shut was doing to me, keeping shut was making me very frustrated.
Yeah.
And watching those videos, I was getting so pissed at people, like in general, humanity.
Oh, okay.
Because I could see the amount of terror and torture like those kids were facing.
On a daily basis.
On a daily basis.
Yeah.
Imagine you're living in a country where you don't know what stuffed toys are. Your weapons are like toys for you.
Yeah, exactly.
The games you play are like air shooting with your friends.
Yeah.
And that just filled me with rage. And for what Azhar's character was, he did not love anyone.
Yeah.
It was not like he's not from Pakistan. It was not like he's towards the side of Pakistanis.
Yeah.
They've hired him, so he's working for them.
Yeah.
There's particular hate towards the Indian Air Force or the Indian community in general from Azhar's side. So I just felt that Azhar is the kind of character who does not love anyone and he does not have anyone in his life who loves him.
Yes.
So even the backstory that I created for my character was very strong. Like I remember I've like filled in about 1.5 to 2 diaries, just writing backstory,
Just the
backstories and thoughts and whatever I could gather about the character because that was very important.
Okay.
And I've always heard people doing this, going the method way and everything.
Yeah.
But doing it and experiencing it for the first time was fascinating, right? It was very fascinating because when now the audience is telling me that, so the casting team at Mukesh Chhavra's office and Siddharth sir and the ADs, I was only given one brief that Azhar needs to be very menacing.
Okay.
And you would not believe me how many people have texted me saying Azhar was so menacing.
He was.
Using the exact same word.
He was.
So I think that really translated very well.
But what about the fight sequence? Because I remember clearly because it was like full takkar thi. Like 19-20 wala difference. I would actually put it across that way around.
So funny story, there was not much rehearsal that I did for the action.
Okay.
And even when I was doing the action, our action director Parvez sir on set, he asked me this thing, sir, aapne action seekha hai pehle kahin pe?
Okay.
And I was like, nahi sir, this is the first time I'm doing action. He's like, sir, aap bahut acha action kar rahe ho. So I think because of the fact that I saw a lot of WWE growing up and I saw a lot of Bollywood movies growing up, I just kind of picked that up and it's innate in my body. So that is why it looked really good. Even when we were doing the hand-to-hand combat, right? I would pick up stuff easily. It was not very difficult for me. And I did most of the stunts on my own.
Yeah.
There were probably 2 things that I did not do on my own because it would have taken a lot of time for me to do it. But other than that, everything I did on my own.
But tell me something like now you just said कि जब मैं एक हफ्ता या एक महीना जब मैं वो regularly देख रहा था, documentaries and all that, my thoughts had become very violent or very aggressive. Now the shooting is done, the work is done. Now we are just waiting for the product to be out there. Did you take back, like when you wrapped up the shoot, did you take back Azhar home and how easily did you come out of Azhar? Like how difficult was it for you or what was it like for you?
I came out of it. I
Pretty
snapped
quick?
out of it. As soon as shoot got over, I went for a vacation with my friends. Met
And it
my
was just
family,
switch on, switch off.
Switch off, yeah. It wasn't like I was carrying Azhar with me because then after the shoot I started speaking a lot. I was doing everything that I liked. I was eating sweets. I was not eating like 7-8 meals a day. Now I'm eating.
And it was just back to your normal schedule
back to
of
my
that.
normal self.
But tell me something because in an industry like showbiz industry, चाहे वो TV हो, चाहे वो Bollywood हो, चाहे वो OTT, any medium for that matter, being stereotyped is very easy, okay? When you play a villain and you have left a mark as a villain on people out there, the first preference that they will give you as is a villain, and then they will think, "Acha, chalo, let's experiment with this guy in some other manner." So while you were actually choosing to play a villain and that too in such a movie that will leave a mark, did you have that thinking, okay, what next for me? Or do you aim to actually make a mark as a villain? What is it like for you now?
I did not think either of these things.
Okay.
See, it's very difficult for, someone to get a film, someone like me to get a film like this
yes.
and a character like this. And my only thought was towards that. Like, I was not thinking what next, what before, I'll get typecasted or I'll not get typecasted. We'll see. I am that kind of a person. I like to live in the moment. I don't like to think a lot about the future because unnecessary anxiety ho jati hai. Seriously, it's my life. It's how I live my life. If I'm doing something right now, I'm totally immersed in it. I will think about the next thing if it comes during this thing. But अगर जब तक नहीं आ रहा है तब तक okay, this is there. Let's focus on this.
But has the offer started pouring in for you because seeing how the response has been superbly good for you?
So there have been conversations that have started, but nothing is concrete yet. and I would like to not speak about it.
No, but then are they mostly towards the villain side of it, negative side of it, or are they like some very...
There's a variety.
There is a variety. Oh, that means we are glad
because
to know.
The one thing that worked in my favor, you know, is after the film came out, my social media kind of blew up a little bit.
Yes.
And if you see my social media, what Azhar is and what Rishabh is, it's like a totally different.
Poles apart, yes.
Poles apart, right? So I feel that is a compliment as an actor, because, you know, to get into the skin and become someone that you're not in your real life is not easy.
Yes.
So this is one thing that I can do if you want me to do it. But this is Rishabh and he can do a lot more. So if I get to audition for, you know, say, I would personally love to do a comedy film next.
Okay.
Because I want to explore that genre. I really love watching comedy films and I think I can do justice to characters there. So yeah, let's see. I mean, that is something. There's a variety coming.
There's a variety coming. Yeah. That's the thing that we wanted to know majorly. Touch wood. I can't read there, but yeah, you understood. Okay, just tell me one thing, because, you know, seeing how every actor, I would say, be it Hollywood, Bollywood, or any other regional film, they always have this thing that, okay, in directors के साथ काम करना तो बनता ही है, in actors के साथ काम करना तो बनता ही है. Do you also have that kind of a list that, oh, ये वाले director के साथ तो I want to do in my career and maybe in my the actors also?
Yeah.
Who lie on the list?
In terms of directors, I would say Sanjay Leela Bhansali, definitely. Okay. Imtiaz Ali for sure. I would love to work with Karan Johar as well.
Okay.
Anurag Kashyap, I would love to work with.
Wow, he's chosen almost all the top listers of it,
because
but that's good.
Of course.
That's good, okay.
I mean, if I get to work with them, it is an honor for me. And because I've worked with Siddharth sir, right?
Yes.
And the amount I could learn from that man, he's a gem. He don't let me feel even one day that, you know, I'm a new actor playing a villain in such a huge film with such a huge cast.
Yeah.
It was such a homely environment, such a warm environment that I could do my best.
Okay, and what about actors and actresses who are on the top list of yours? Because abhi to already you have cut off a lot of them in the first film itself. But then apart from them,
no, I have not cut off anyone.
No, you will work with them all over again. But then
I would want to work with Shah Rukh sir, undoubtedly,
okay.
and Amir sir for sure. Like, and even Salman sir. Yeah, I mean, dude, I'm a Bollywood fan before anything. Like, I've grown up seeing their films. I love working with them. I would love to work with Ranveer Singh as well. I would love to work with Ajay Devgan sir. Like, all of these people. Man.
But then if you had to be a part of somebody's biopic, for example, whose biopic would you want to be a part of then?
Somebody's biopic?
Yes. Oh,
Yuvraj Singh. If I get to play a biopic of Yuvraj Singh, I would be because he's one of my favorite cricketers. I myself have played cricket for many years and I'm a left-handed batsman as well.
Okay.
So I would love to do his biopic if it ever gets made and if they could ever consider me for that, because curly hair, he also has that curly
let's
hair.
keep our fingers crossed. But before I just jump to the game part of it, I'm very keen to know that now that the movie is out, that the fans have seen, what was the most touching response that you got, and what was this one response that you felt that, okay, somebody has really seen the core of your character? Because audience बहुत बारी कहते ना इस तरीके से आपको response देती है और उनको ऐसे वो कहते ना अपना criticism देती है that you feel कि oh yes, they have actually seen the nubs of my character. So was there any kind of such responses for you?
So I'll mention 3 responses.
Please go
ahead. One
ahead.
is for the last part of your question.
Yeah.
Nubs pakad liya jisne.
बिल्कुल.
A lot of people told me that we hated you.
Oh.
There was outright hate कि हमारा मन करता screen में आके तेरे को मारे.
Okay.
And I'm a huge Game of Thrones fan. So if you've seen that show, there's this character in that show called King Joffrey.
Yes.
And when that person died, I was so happy. I was very happy when he died because he was like, I wanted to myself go and beat him up.
Okay.
So when that translated, I was like, thank you. This is what I was aiming for.
I've achieved it.
Yes. And one of the biggest compliments that I got, which I don't even know if, you know, I deserve it or not, is that like 5-6 people told me on messages and calls that my performance reminded them of Amrish Puri sir. And
wow.
I don't know
that was quite the
I don't know if, you know, I deserve that kind of a compliment or not, because that is the highest level of compliment anyone portraying a villain can get.
Yes.
And like I said, the best part about it was the brief that I had gotten. The character should look menacing. And
people actually said that it actually looked menacing.
They used the same word.
It did. I can agree to that.
Yeah. I've been really happy and lucky with the...
But then what has been your takeaway from the film, I would say? Like, or maybe working with all of them, because you had TV faces, you had OTT people, you had Bollywood, everything was a mixed one out there.
The biggest take back from this film for me, after observing all of these big stars, is no matter how big you get in life, stay humble. Like, because honestly, I realized bigger the star, be it Siddharth sir, Hrithik, Anil Kapoor, whoever, bigger the star, the more comfortable and easy it is to work with them, to act opposite them or act with them on set. Because they make it really easy for you to perform well.
That's a quite good takeaway. Okay, the last thing that I have for you, Rishabh, here is like a fun rapid fire, because uske bina to hum rap nahi kar sakte hain. Okay,
Let's go.
So the first one, what is that one word that you speak a lot?
One word.
Yes, word or line, anything.
Bro or baba.
Okay, a habit of yours that you wish to get rid of.
Cigarettes. I want to quit.
Okay, a takeaway that you feel that the best memory that you had with maybe Hrithik or Deepika or Anand sir.
Like I said, the bigger you get, the humbler you should be.
The first thing that you remember from the sets.
The first thing I remember from the set was the extreme cold in Kashmir, where we were getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning to start the makeup and the costume, because that was very cold over
But how
there.
did you explore Kashmir? Did you get to go around? Did you nothing
much.
at
No,
all?
I used to get really, so what I was doing in Kashmir when we finished the shoot, I had to come back and work out. So after like 10-12 hours we were shooting in the cold.
So you did not get to enjoy the delicacies out there?
No, I've shot a lot in Kashmir. I've explored a lot of Kashmir.
Then it's good.
days.
Okay, it's fine.
Fine. I was only focused on the film.
Okay, now that you are in a lot of limelight, let me put it across this way. If you had been a journalist, what is that one question that you would ask your character, or maybe ask yourself?
What was that one question?
Because a lot of questions have been asked you, know. So now what is that one question that you would ask yourself? I'm sure there is a lot.
On the spot, wale na. One question that I would ask myself.
Yes. Ask Rishabh.
I think this is why I'm not a journalist.
Okay, fine. I'll take that one. Okay, a day in your life would consist of what top 3 things?
My workout, then my chanting and meditation, and watching something before I sleep.
Okay, last 2. A job that you feel that you would drastically fail at, that you will not do, like, to the utmost best.
If I have to paint or draw something.
Really?
Oh.
Please tell me you're not the one who makes tree like this.
Yeah, I make trees like that. I make mountains like that. I'm like that
Okay,
kind of a guy.
never putting you in that one. Okay, the last one. If you could actually wake up as any other celebrity, who would that be, and what is that thing that you would want to be when you wake up as him or her?
I would love to wake up as Matthew McConaughey and just observe how he thinks and how he lives his life. I'm really inspired by that guy.
Well, thank you so much. I really hope that iske baad, the next time that we actually meet you, we actually are talking about the next project that you're signing, that we were just saying in talks here, but we'll not talk much about it. Thank you for joining me on Zoom. It was a pleasure. Any parting words you want to give to the fans?
Thank you so much for watching our film and showering us with so much love, and keep the love coming, because then I'll get to entertain you more. And if you haven't seen the film, please go and watch the film, because it is a brilliant film. Thank you.
Well, that was Rishabh, and this is me, Vishakha Pandit, signing off for now from Zoom.